I want to speak about a few uncommon or rare butterflies I have seen in UAE. The first one is the fig blue. Actually, it is a rediscovery after about 25 years in 2023. And now it is known to occur in at least 3-4 places. The population has, very much, suffered during the flood. After the flood, one or two was observed, whereas before the flood in 2023, it was up to 12 numbers in the peak season, peak time. So, yeah. Actually, this one was found in a hilltop. Some butterflies, especially the male, go to the top of the hill, and it will, be there looking for the females, hiding somewhere nearby. So this is a female, male, and this is a upper wing. In the female, this blue color is much, less. This is another view in flight. This is a habitat shot. This one. And I have seen this big blue is fond of, some plant juice or something. Break open by some other insect. These two are, sipping from the, broken leaf. This is the comparison, size comparison.
We still don't know exactly what it is they're eating.
Sorry. Yeah. Actually, it is sipping from the plant sap, from very tender leaves.
That is the fig plant itself.
This is open. It's not open.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, these are different individuals. Next.
20 talking and I'll click.
Yeah.
I'll help you.
This is the upper side. The color is light color of lead. Yeah. This is female, I think. Next. See, this one is a larva, caterpillar. It is always tended by ants. Arabian grizzled skipper. This is a special mountain summit resident, only seen in the mountain tops.
Space button is good enough.
We are thinking of bulldozing hills, but we are bulldozing these also. These beautiful creatures will be forever it is going for. Already you can see, like if you climb the Al Hill, the small hill, if you go up, all three sides are almost it is bulldozed, and we are losing so many small things. This is Balkan Pierrot. Actually, we have two species Pierrot. The underside is very similar, but the upper side markings are different. This is a female. African mallow skipper. This is a resident in Wadis and some hill slopes and even hilltops where the host plant is available. We have identified there are two Abu Dhabi species which are available in many areas, but this is not the only condition for this butterfly. Some areas Abu Dhabi will be there, butterfly we cannot see. So there are some other conditions to be met for these butterflies. This is one on the side. This is a pupa, fresh pupa, within a few hours from pupation. This is a mature pupa. It will, emerge within maybe 3-4 hours. After emerging, during, it will spread its wings, but this grizzled skipper, marble skipper, it will raise its body like this and keep like during the drying period. That's a grizzled skipper. This is one of the common or even commoner among the grizzled skippers, and this one. When I was observing this grizzled skipper, it immediately, hazily, it went to a small crevice within the rocks. After a few seconds, it started, big wind started. So this one, maybe it sensed the wind a little more earlier, some 3-4 seconds earlier, and went inside a crevice. White desert black-tip. This is actually a migrant from Caspian area. So it is coming in the hill summits during winter and up to the spring. And our Gary and Vinesh observed the egg laying of this butterfly in another mountain front area. So it is not actually a migrant. Some minor population can be resident also. This is letter stupid. This is actually a rare species. It is known along with their, very rare. There is some plant, Prosopis cinera. It is available along with that. So very colorful up and very dull below. This is white branded swift. See, this white line is called brand, sex brand. It is used for, spreading the pheromones during courtship flight. And acknowledgements, our Gary, Angela, Vinesh, and my friend Sajir. He has taken some of the pictures. Thank you. This is my first presentation in my life, and I don't know how it went.
Thanks to all of our speakers. We're running maybe a slight bit later than usual, but let's take some time out for questions. If anybody wants to. Are there any questions? Go ahead.
Thank you very much for your talk. Excellent and wonderful photographs from many different people who contributed. About the floods, have the floods affected all butterflies in the UAE or just some?
Almost all are suffered. Because the topsoil, it is all taken or it is deposited to some smaller area, and the fertile area is all reduced, And also for the fig blue, its number of sighting is previously it was 12. After the flood, it was only 2.
So it's the soil erosion that's caused the damage to numbers.
Yeah, so many areas, the area became not suitable for any plant life.
So the soil removes, so the plants disappear.
Yes. Also for this fig blue, it is not it is not that case, because it is primarily it is depending on one tree or the fig tree. But due to some reason, after the rains, it is very scarce.
Thank you.
I certainly agree with the basic answer, but the reasons, I think we have to look at a lot of reasons. In some places, whole areas were denuded of plants, areas that had been wadi banks, got the soil and the plants were all taken away. In other places, remember we had rains in about the 10th or so of February and about the 10th or so of March, and then famously on the 14th of April. And the butterflies, even those that were maybe happy after the first rain, okay, they laid their eggs, the pupa started to go, and another big rain hits them and knocks them out. They try again after the March rains, and things are getting going, and then the April rains come and wipe them out again.
We're talking about mountain species. What about in gardens and parks? Did the same phenomena occur?
Sorry, in?
Gardens and parks.
Well, gardens and, yeah, I spend less time in gardens and parks. But I think, Angela, would you agree also from around Mushroof Park and others? Have you seen as many butterflies this year?
I haven't been out enough to comment this year.
I think probably the same, but if you've been spending time in gardens and parks and have seen the same numbers, yeah.
Or like deserts.
Questions?
I would say deserts as well, because I think the water in the deserts during the floods didn't pool up as much. I think the sand absorbs all of it, basically, right? So I'm curious if there's any desert species of butterflies.
I wouldn't want to say it was an excellent year for dragonflies.
Yeah.
But obviously their physiology was different. We had, and Khalid actually has been following this as well, more than anyone. We have at least two species which are not normally year-round residents, which showed up as early as February with the rains, and they're still here. And there's water still flowing in a few places that don't normally have water anytime during the year. So it made a big difference, and there will surely be some exceptions even among butterflies. There may be some place where somebody took off like crazy, but you can't be everywhere all the time.
I'm just wondering, it's not because the dragonflies aren't predating the butterflies, are they? It's not for that. I mean, favors one species.
Not all, but dragonflies, since butterflies eat nectar and fruits and rotting fruits and so on and so forth, they're no danger to the dragonflies. But yeah, there are a couple of dragonflies that will definitely take butterflies. Some are sort of known for that. Some of the same ones that will take other large prey, including other dragonfly species or their own species, will also take butterflies.
I have a question for Jason. So I was always wondering where and how you're sourcing all the material. For instance, now with all the new excavation in Leka, is this stuff gonna end up in Archaeological Museum of Sharjah, and what is the process? You have to go through the restoration and catalogization, etc., or how does it work?
For archaeological objects.
For instance, I mean,
Yeah.
archaeological.
That's specific. Normally, that would have been published before it's passed over to the museum. And with archaeological excavations, you get lots of things that you never put on display. That's fine. We call them bulk finds. So lots of pearls that shows the pottery that just, they're not one piece, they're just bits. Lots of bone, maybe not so much. So they're called bulk finds that you never put on display.
I was kind of referring to this new long swords
Sort of thing.
they have excavated. Is this going to be displayed somewhere in Sharjah or?
Probably.
Yeah. What's the time?
I can't tell you that.
The diamonds in the
Yeah,
Yeah.
the recent great.
Michelle, you had a question.
One for Hazel and one for Hazel. Do you get donations or?
We are offered, again, there's another sort of professional museum process for somebody might propose an acquisition or a donation. We would have a donations committee, whichever relevant curator that object might fit, which they would make a case for having it or not. But the big thing is, where's it from? Is it really yours? Your ownership to offer it to us and things like that. We're very careful. So often we might not, we might just say, no, thank you.
So whatever you have stolen.
So don't order that again. Your second question.
The other one is ants attending the larva. What were they doing?
There was a photograph of the green larva, and you're saying that the ants are usually tending to it.
Yeah, this is mainly, there are different groups of butterflies. There is one group called Lasanid. Most of the butterflies are having this larva attended by ants. In the larva, there are some glands, sweat glands, which is fed, taken by ants. And ants give some protection to the larva. So it is like mutual understanding.
Do they not harm it?
No,
What are they doing?
They are mutant, basically.
Drinking water.
they give some sweet liquid from the body of the larva.
And so no other insects attack it because they're afraid of the ants.
Yeah.
One question on high altitude butterflies. So do you have the phenomenon of diapause observed in UAE butterflies in winter? Because if
High altitude, it is unlikely.
because what do they do in winter? You said they're out in
Yeah,
spring.
they are going back to, temperate area.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they migrate.
Yeah, they come back.
We have some like it hot, and some like it cold. The butterflies here don't necessarily go into diapause in the summer. Somebody like the painted lady, a common butterfly worldwide, likes it cooler, and so they generally clear out. But you will still find some summering if they're near water or in shady places. So you can find the odd one around plantations, but they're also notorious for migrating a bit like birds. They move north for the summer and come back south for the winter. There are a few species found here and elsewhere in Arabia that go into diapause, but not as adults. They don't come out of the pupa stage. If it's too hot or too dry, they can somehow sense that, and they let a year go by, they let 2 years go by, and according to experts elsewhere in the Levant, where they've been studied more carefully, some of them can go for multiple years. I think the record for one species is a butterfly emerging from a pupa after 10 years. That would be exceptional.
And what it had to eat as a larva to be able to survive.
Well,
for years.
this was somebody who studies butterflies, and so they had the cabinets marked. This one, this is the 10-year cabinet, and most people would have thrown it away if they weren't specialists.
And also, I guess they have some way of slowing their metabolism to be able to last 10 years in a pupa, right? So
That's the presumption,
yeah.
that they know that they're not. I mean, the other alternative is that the butterfly, and this is suspected for some species, that the animals, and not only butterflies, the insects produce genetically slightly different offspring, one that will emerge after a year or after the coming season, one that will wait a couple of seasons, one that will wait a few more. So maybe they're not as smart as we think. Maybe they're just hedging their bets. If that question has been definitively answered, nobody has told me they wouldn't necessarily.
I have a question for Karthik. You studied the butterflies and dragonflies in India. How big a difference is there, north, south, east, west, within India? I mean, I know that Delhi is different from Kerala, and I suppose they're all different from the south.
Yeah, so see the answer to this. So India has, to my knowledge, 6 biogeographical zones.
6, okay.
And many more subzones. And we have around 1,300 species of butterflies. Crossing
How many?
1,300, at least. So, and many more of moths. So I think more than 1,500 of moths, out of which I think 600 or 700 have photographs, the rest don't. So amazing diversity in India. So like, especially if anyone is aiming to, it wants to travel, like pick your zone, because in that one zone itself, you will have enough diversity to give you a great visit.
Keep you busy.
Absolutely.
You have to remember, it's not just divided up into north, south, east, and west, though, as if you just took a map and a piece of paper. You've got high elevation, low elevation, you've got high elevation in the south, you've got and low, you've got high and low in the north, and they're
I'll
all
just give one example. So
dry and wet,
Yeah, so last year, last August, I went to one of the oldest fold mountains in the world, the Aravallis, which stretch from the southern ridge of Delhi till right up to Ajmer in Rajasthan. So I went to the Ajmer side, and it was like in just the altitude of say 200 meters, like just a small hill. There's a different biogeographic zone on the top and different one below. We had gone looking for a bird called the white-naped tit, which is a vulnerable species endemic to that area. And of course, I was documenting insects and other species as well. But one observation, for example, we only saw owl flies in the higher altitude, 200 meters up, none below. we only saw some wasps below and none above. So why, we don't know. But all I'm trying to say is, like, especially in a country like India, like there's too much like diversity in biogeographic zones, and people are still figuring out as to yeah. But I think maybe in a country like the UAE, there's a little bit more homogeneity. Although I mean, I haven't explored as much as some people here, but yeah, it's easier here, I think, to comprehend than India.
Well, there's no place in UAE like Kerala where you can.
Kerala, yes. Kerala itself, like the Western Ghats itself, are divided into multiple zones. Like till date, they're discovering species of dragonflies in area of Kerala which borders Tamil Nadu called Agastya Malay, very dense forest. So till date, they're discovering gecko species and damselflies till last year. So that area is still unexplored. So this is it. So if you go to Kerala, even within Kerala, there are areas where there's tremendous diversity.
Also big elevation.
And also just one like historical fact, like back in the day, India used to have a stretch of evergreen forests, and now there's it's observed that the patch of evergreen forest in the northeast and the patch in Kerala, that is the Western Ghats, have similarity in species, and this is just because these two pockets, the species got isolated over a long period of time. Some of them retained the same species, some species evolved from the species which got isolated. So this is something which is like very precious naturalistic records available till of course they survive, because as we know, because of global warming and other things, these species are extremely vulnerable, especially amphibians, damselflies and so on.
Other questions? Okay, I want to thank our speakers somewhat more tangibly. And I'm going to say thank you to, we did this as a chairman's choice for the two fellows speaking about animals and taxonomy. And so they are going to get, so they can deal with a little larger, furrier, feathery, well, not furry, scaly, wild about mammals and wild about reptiles, and they're old, but they're still authoritative. So thank you to Khalid. He's already, but trade them in. Oh, you want to throw them? Oh. Well, we'll do one. Should put my coat on. Okay. I should have said, Khalid, I was looking at Khalid's photos while I was trying to take questioners, and several of the at least 2 or 2.5 of the species that he covered. He has by far the best pictures we have from the UAE, and had he not chosen to take his organic farming break in India when he did, he would probably have been one of the authors of the butterfly book. He has some photos in it because I've known him since the 90s, but it was bad timing. I'm sorry to say. For Hazel, we've offered Hazel a choice of books, and she said, well, she's a woman who has everything already. So we give congratulations to John as well, but we'll find a way to catch up with you. I think that's everything. Thank you to all of our speakers. Most of you are doing something out there on the side that the rest of us might be interested to hear about. So I ask you to keep in mind for yourselves and maybe for others, volunteering for Members' Night next year. Beyond that, thanks for joining us this evening, and I look forward to seeing you, I think it's January 10 for our